Hello, dear students. Welcome to I-Fal. My name is Teacher Nikki, and I am here to have another video lesson with you. So I am so excited to talk about a new topic for you today that will help you understand and construct better sentences using the English language. I know that these lessons will be very helpful for you to communicate using the English language that are grammatically correct and properly constructed, considering that we will be talking about some grammar topics. So I want you to concentrate on our lesson today, pay attention to our sample sentences, and please practice them very well even after the class. So let's go ahead and start our lesson. Let's go.
So, for the lesson today, we will be talking about the rules in using prepositions. Okay? So, there are actually some rules or a few rules that we have to consider when we are talking about or using prepositions in our sentences. And that's what we are going to understand in this lesson. So, let's go ahead and take a look at this part. So, how to use prepositions. So, English can be complicated. Languages in general just have so many different parts of speech and ways to put them together. So, luckily, all the rules and types of words can be broken down into manageable sizes. So, it means that we can actually find some ways to make it simple for us to use in the language. So, this keeps it from feeling overwhelming. We're here to help you navigate English and make it seem much easier to understand. So, in this section, we will be focusing specifically on preposition rules. Now, as with all areas of grammar, there are rules when it comes to the use of prepositions. So let's dive a little deeper here and take a look at the rules in order to enable us to use the prepositions correctly. Okay, let's take a look at how we are going to use these prepositions in some of the rules that we have here. So, first of all, as a rule of thumb, the prepositions should go before the pronoun or noun to which it has a relationship. Okay, by default, the prepositions usually go before your noun or pronouns. However, this is not always the case, and there are some exemptions to the rule. Many people are of the belief that a preposition does not belong at the end of a sentence. But by taking a look at the following example, we can see that this is not true. So many people would believe that we should not put prepositions at the end of the sentence. However, if we look at these sentences that I have here, it is necessary to have some prepositions there, especially if we could relate some parts, okay, or if we are showing some relationships at the beginning of the sentences. Okay, example, this is something I do not agree with. Okay, now as you can see, the preposition with has ended the sentence. Okay, however, this should only be done if the preposition provides relevant information to the sentence. So which means, okay, by having that preposition, it actually shows an important relationship in some parts of your sentence. So, if you were to add the phrase with which in the middle of this sentence, the final preposition with would not be necessary anymore. So, like for example, this is something with which I do not agree. So, therefore, you should not put the preposition with in this sentence at the end. Okay? That is rule number one. So, we also have we're now going to look at some further examples of times when preposition might come at the end of the sentence. So we have here some prepositions at the end of the sentence. Where did the man come from? How many of these people can he depend on? Who are you going on holiday with. Okay? So these are just some of the prepositions at the end of the sentence. So rule number 2, when using the preposition like, okay, remember like here is a preposition which means similar, you should follow it with an object of the preposition. So remember, there should be an object of the preposition when you're using the preposition like. This is either a noun phrase, noun, or pronoun, and not a subject and a verb. Okay, remember your object should only be a noun phrase, noun, or pronoun. It should not be a subject plus verb. So in order for us to remember this, let's avoid, okay, we should avoid the use of like when using a verb. Okay, we should not use like when there is a verb after it. Let's see these examples. She looks like her father. So the first sentence means she, okay, is similar to her father. So there are some similarities. She looks like her father does. Okay? Now, the second sentence actually talks about the manner she looks, okay? The way she looks, not actually similar, okay, to her father. Now, you can see after like there is the verb does, so which makes it not, okay, a preposition in this case. It doesn't mean similar. Now, the first sentence is correct as the preposition like is referring to the noun father. Okay, similar to her father. However, okay, the following sentence does not make sense since preposition like now leads us to believe that she looks, okay, with her eyes in the same manner. So she looks like her father does. So it means the way she looks is similar to the way that her father does. Okay? So please remember that. Now, when making a comparison using a subject and a verb, instead of using the word like, you have to use the word as, okay, to make it much more sense. Example, she looks like he's laughing. Instead of that, you can say, he looks as though he's laughing. Okay? So the second sentence above is correct. It is important to remember to only use like when you are saying that something is similar. If the word like cannot be reasonably replaced with similar, so if you cannot replace like with similar there, then as should be used in its place. So instead of using like, then use as if you cannot change like with the word similar, and it would not make sense in the sentence. Okay? So to make it clear, let's see this one. Okay, do like the teacher asks. So do similar, the teacher asks, then the sentence does not make sense, right? So therefore, instead of using like, we have to use as. Do as the teacher asks. So in this case, it would sound much better when we say similarly as the teacher asks. Okay? So the best way of choosing between like and as is to remember that like should be used when there is no verb after it. If there's no verb after it and it's only noun phrases or pronouns, then we can use like, and should be used, okay, and as, okay, we have to use as if after the word there is a verb or subject plus verb. Okay? Now, let's go to the next rule, number 3. So when you're using the verb to have, you should never replace it with the preposition of. It would sound like that. He should not have done that. We should not say he should not have done that. Should not have. It's actually incorrect. Okay? Do not replace have with of. Okay? Now, rule number 4, when you are using the word different, okay, normally we say it different from, okay? So, but in some cases, you will find out some people are using different than. So, although this is not actually 100% incorrect, but it's actually making the sentence divided or polarizes, and it's making the sentence unchangeable, okay, or unchallengeable. I mean, he is different than she is, okay? He is different from her, okay, if we want to compare, right? Using the word different. And number five, if you wish to refer to a motion, an action towards something, then you should use the preposition into. Okay, so if there is an action being referred there, okay, you take a look at your verb, then it's better to use into instead of in. Example, she walked into the room. So there is a sense of movement. So she walked in the room. Although the second sentence is also correct, but in this case, into would make more sense for the sentence as our verb walked has a sense of motion towards something. Okay? So therefore, use into. Now, let's see another example of this. They dived into the sea. Okay, they dived in the sea. So if you are talking about something already being in something and not going towards it, then you should use the word in. So remember that if we're talking about location, you're referring to the thing that is already in that place, then use in. But okay, use into if there is an action towards it. Okay, example, she swam in the ocean. So the person is already in the ocean. So you're just saying that she is in that place swimming. She swam into the ocean. Okay, now in this case, you're saying that the person is going into the ocean. In this case, she's swimming into the ocean. All right? Not inside, but going to it. Do you understand that? Okay.
So I hope you find our lesson today very helpful. So as I always say, the secret in making your communication skills in English better is constant practice. So I want you to please keep on practicing all the lessons that we've had in the past and even this present lesson. So I know that you can do it really well and you'll improve yourself eventually. So just keep believing in yourself and practice more, okay? Now, please stay tuned to our more lessons here in I-Fal, and please visit our website that I will flash on the next screen. I also encourage you to please subscribe to our classes because we have a lot of amazing teachers that will help you and guide you in improving your English skills. So once again, this is Teacher Nikki. So I'll just see you again on the next classes and video lessons that we're going to have. I know that we will have more amazing lessons in the future. So stay tuned and good luck. Study harder and I'll see you next time. Bye.